Hi everybody, we've been really fortunate to have Mark Ashton here today to talk to us about some of the Goal Zero range. Now Mark works for Burton McCall, who are the UK distributors for Goal Zero. So yeah, over to you Mark. Great, thanks for coming on the show today and sharing some of your products, which I'm pretty sure our listeners will be really keen on some of them.
Oh yeah, you're more than welcome. Good use of time. Goal Zero is a brand really. They originated in the US, owned by an electronics guru who sold a business for a huge amount of money, went traveling around the world, came across a village in the Congo that had absolutely nothing. So basically their day started at 4 o'clock in the morning when the sun came out, and it finished at 6 o'clock at night when it went dark, because they had absolutely no power solutions. They had no running water.
Yeah.
You know, it's a proper sort of humanitarian story. So he went back to the US, put his electronics brains together, and came back to this village with solar panels and a huge battery bank, which was essentially a load of car batteries connected together, which gave them power, which is a great story. The downside was the power was only in one place. So the next stage then was to try and make it movable. Okay. So could you make a 12-volt battery, car battery, carryable with a solar panel and have plugs on it and bits and pieces like that? And essentially that's where Goal Zero came from. So that they still support that village. So they've now got libraries and schools. They're still using solar power from Goal Zero.
Oh, amazing.
And it's a bit of an unfortunate story. They thrive on disaster. So whenever you see a hurricane in the US that destroys towns and things like that, they load a truck with all their stuff and rock up and distribute power packs. So they'll do power packs from really small that all run your mobile phone, which is probably more relevant to our conversation, all the way up to power packs the size of a beer crate, which will run your house for 2 days.
So like crisis situations, you know, like you say, if there's a power
yeah, completely. And I've got some of the smaller big power packs. I don't want to be lifting up huge Yetis.
They're quite heavy, batteries are heavy.
But I think most people, certainly when you're out on the trail or out on the hill walking or running, things have moved on massively. If we go back 10 or 15 years ago, everybody was hopefully carrying a map and a compass of some sort. Yeah. Now that moved on to GPS, and now that's moving from GPS to smartphone type of technology, because you know, you got all these apps such as What 3 Words and OS Locate, etc., etc. Yeah. But it all relies on the battery pack of your phone. So keeping that topped up is really, really, really key. So Goal Zero do a range of power packs, ranging from something that will top your phone up once, and when we talk about top up, we're talking from completely flat to completely full.
Okay, great.
If you think about when you plug it, if your phone is completely dead and you plug it in the wall, it takes a couple of minutes for it to switch on.
Do anything, does it?
And getting that initial power in takes quite a lot.
Yeah.
If you're doing top ups, then it'll do loads. And it'll start with things like flips. So if I try and get that in the right place, that's the entry model. That's a Flip 12.
Yeah, it's really small, yeah.
Yeah. You'll often see these in petrol stations, you know, when you fill up with fuel, you can buy one for less than £10 and it'll top your phone up, which is great, good value for money. What Goal Zero...
That's called the Flip, that one, was it?
Yeah, the Flip series. They do 3 different sizes. There's a Flip 12 and then a Flip 24, which gets bigger.
Okay, yeah.
And then a Flip 36. And all the numbers that are relate to are the number of watt hours. That's like the capacity of the battery.
Yes.
There is a general rule of thumb, and I say a rule of thumb because obviously smartphone sizes vary astronomically now.
Yeah.
To charge a smartphone takes around about 10 watts. So a Flip 12 will do it once, a 24 will do it twice.
Yep.
36 will do it 3 times. And it's something that's quite easy to relate to, because hopefully, most people have a phone and charge it fairly regularly.
Yeah.
But the difference in Goal Zero technology and other technologies that are around is they try and work so the product charges as fast from solar as it would from plugging it into the mains.
Okay, yeah.
So battery technology, if we hold up one of those, this is an 18650 battery, which is now becoming really, really common. Its most common use is in electronic vapes. But the nice thing with these, is they're a deep recharge battery, so you can recharge it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times without affecting the life cycle of the battery.
Yeah.
But they're also chainable. So if I hold this next to this, you can guess what's inside.
Yep.
And then all you do is add more of them together. So a 12 has got 1 in, a 36 has got, 24 has got 2 in, 36 has got 3 in, and it will get bigger and bigger. But apart from that, you can get things through that they call pass-through charging. Yeah. So the downside of a portable battery pack is when it runs out, you've got to wait to charge it, and then you charge your phone. Okay. With the Gold Zero products, you can pass the charge through the device. So, for example, a Flip with its USB socket on it. Okay. If you're an Apple user, for example, you can put your Apple plug into the wall. Yeah. And then rather than plugging your lightning cable into the plug, you plug this into the plug. Okay. And then plug the lightning cable into the output. Yeah. And then it charges both of them simultaneously at the same time. So you're not waiting for your battery pack to be charged.
And you said about chaining the batteries together. Could you chain those the flips together in theory? Is there a method to do that so you could increase?
You could do it. It wouldn't be massively efficient. Okay, because one charging another would discharge. You're far better off working out what sort of capacity you need. Yeah, okay. And working from there. But as we start to go bigger, we can go up to, one of the real big ones is the Sherpas. So,
oh yeah, I've got the Sherpa. Yeah,
that's 100 watts with various different outputs. So this has got normal USB sockets. It's got a AC inverter. Yeah. But a big thing that's coming on now is, pointing in the right place, is the USB-C connectors.
That's right, yeah.
So this means that you're not, if you're using a laptop, for example, the lead on your laptop will have a plug on one end and a socket that plugs into your laptop on the other. And in the middle, there'll be a plastic brick. Yeah. Basically, that takes 240 or 230 volts down to the wattage that your laptop uses. And you'll notice from use that plastic brick gets warm. That's where it's losing efficiency of transferring voltage. Okay. USB-C outputs will now directly charge laptops. So it means that the 12 volts you're using from the power pack is fluctuating up or down.
Oh, that's really interesting. Does the Sherpa there, does it have the one where you can just rest your iPhone on top of it?
The Dark Witch craft technology, UI charging, that's on here. So literally you lie it down, get your glass back phone, or be an iPhone or an Android, stick it on and it'll instantly start to charge your device.
They've been invaluable for me. Say if I've been maybe out for a long day on the fells and you run out of power, your phone's pinging as soon as you get a phone signal, it's pinging every second. You're taking loads of pictures. And also if I've been marshalling somewhere for a long period of time and maybe I want to take photographs or video footage, the Sherpa has just been fantastic to kind of keep.
They're brilliant. There's a huge amount of capacity built into quite a small device. Yeah. So sneak peeks, there are some new items that are coming out. The samples arrived last week, so I thought I'd show them for next week's trade show. So we got Venture 75 and get that in the right place.
Yeah, okay.
So this is due in September. So the nice thing here is it's got obviously the power switch here, a light at the end, but this is all completely sealed. Okay. So if you're out and about, this is completely waterproof. Can be submerged in water.
Do you know what rating it's got? Is it an IP5?
It's IPX7. So
7, brilliant. Okay, that's even.
They're completely submergible. Yeah. But again, that's got the normal USB sockets and the PD sockets. So if you did want to go out on the trail and you found a necessity to take your laptop with you. And then it's about keeping them topped up. This is what they're really good at. So this is a 5-watt solar panel. Okay. So all you do is it's got a kickstand on the back, which angles it about 45 degrees. Yeah. Point it to the sun, USB socket on the back, plug your device in and just leave it to do its stuff, and it will start to top up your devices.
And I saw the kind of corners were cut away there. You could kind of clip that onto your backpack or something.
Yeah, so there's holes in the side so you can hang it on the backpack. Brilliant. The important thing is when it comes to panels is it's all about the angle. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily the brightness of the sun.
Yeah.
You see lots of people with it hanging on backpacks and they hang down looking at the floor. If you are going to put it on the backpack, you need to get it up on the lid so it sits at 45 degrees.
And out of curiosity then, so that's a 5-watt panel, say one of those little...
If we start with a flip 12,
yeah,
this will charge this in about 2.5 hours.
With kind of UK variable sunlight?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay.
Yeah. So all the Goal Zero products have numbers built into them. So the batteries relate to the capacity of the internal cells.
Yeah.
The panels relate to how much wattage they produce in an hour. Rule of thumb, they're all tested in lab conditions, no matter whose brand you're looking at. Goal Zero, anybody else, they're all tested in very much the same way, and that replicates the sun at its optimum power at the equator.
Yeah, fair enough.
Now,
yeah.
as you start to track around the world, obviously we're very distant from the equator, the solar changes. So as rule of thumb, take about 20 to 25% off the number, and that gives you a true operating time.
Fair enough, yeah.
And they'll do panels from 5 watts all the way up to huge 200-watt panels. And
so you could kind of go completely, if you're away for a weekend, you could be completely off grid then, couldn't you?
Oh, really, really, really easily. We get lots and lots of inquiries from the camper van market, because during lockdown, loads of people have bought vans and they're converting them and want to run them off grid.
And so even if you're like an event director maybe, and you want, especially for the trail running scene, you might not have kind of access to power. So it's
absolutely ideal. So if we just go back to the battery packs, so that's one of the smaller Yetis.
Yeah.
So this is a Yeti 200X. They do these in a number of different sizes. So 500, 1,000, 1,500, 3,000, and if you really want one, 6,000. So that will give you up to 6 kilowatts of electricity.
And that, interestingly, had a regular 3-pin plug outlet on that too.
Yeah. So that they all have a multitude of outputs, so 12 volts and USBs, but they've all got AC inverters at various different sizes. So yeah, you could stick a 3-pin plug into it and run as you would the mains output from the wall.
Yeah, excellent.
They're really, really popular. But for events, the time they come into their own is this. You'd be Honda generator or something like that, which is you've got to service it, you've got to fill it with fuel. Yeah. You've got fumes. But if you're an event director and you're sat in one place for a long period of time, you've got that constant
noise, yes,
and it just drives you insane. The Yetis are completely silent; they just sit there, putting out their power. You can connect it to a panel and top up and output at the same time.
And they're completely maintenance free, assuming everything, things do go wrong occasionally. I appreciate that, but there's no topping up with oil or anything like that.
Absolutely nothing.
Brilliant.
So it comes in a sealed box with a converter plug on the front. So they all come with a Euro plug. You just stick your converter into it, and off you go. It's plug and play, literally straight out of the box. There's no rewiring. All the plugs are the same. It's just like setting up something at home. Really,
and inside that, if you were to pull the Yeti apart, would you find? Would it be like a lithium battery in there, or would it be a car battery?
That'd be lithium. So the older technology used to run on 12-volt batteries, which it'd be a car battery in a posh box, basically.
Yes. Okay.
The benefit was that they were fairly cheap. The downside is they needed constantly topping up. So if you imagine, if you don't run your car let's say you put your car in storage over the winter. Yeah. And then you come out in spring, you got open top sport, go and start it. You know what happens when you turn the key. It's exactly the same with the older battery technology. Now it's moved on to lithium. So again, that battery I showed you right at the start, they use the same technology and just stack more and more of them together. Yeah. The nice thing there is you've got the deep recycled story, but they don't need the constant recharging. They can sit on the shelf for 2 years and have no effect to the battery.
Yeah, I must admit, I've got a lithium battery, and I turned it on. I'm going away tonight, actually, to the Lake District, and I expected to be charging it up, and the little dial on it was, I think it was like 80% still or something, so it was fantastic. And that hadn't been turned on for ages. Anything else, from Goal Zero?
So they do lighting, but it's more camp lighting. So
Yeah.
tiny little backpacking. This is light
Awesome.
activity.
Yeah.
This is by far my favorite product. Just because of the geek factor.
Yeah.
So it's got directable lighting. So I don't know whether you can light one, you can light all of it.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
So that lights have done come out. There you go. You can light one side of it, so you can direct the lighting. So if you're in a tent,
yeah,
and with your family, if your young children are asleep and you want to read, you can light one side of the tent and keep the other side dark, or you can go full power.
That'd be great. For sometimes I've crewed friends at races, and they've gone all through the night. And what happens at the night? You've got few people turn up with their massive lumen head torches, dazzling everybody in the face. But if you had like a little, a localized smaller light, that would be quite handy for that. And can you, just out of curiosity, is there like a USB out port? So in theory, you could charge from that too?
So it's got a USB input to charge it.
Yeah,
but it's also got a USB output in the middle of the dial.
Oh, neat. Okay.
So if you want to charge your phone, you could do. But the awesome thing with this is its runtime. So where it's dimmable.
Yeah.
If you turn it down to its lowest setting, if you want to go on a backpacking trip, for example, and you just need ambient light to do what you're doing in one or two man tent.
Yeah.
Single charge, this will run for up to 500 hours in one go.
Brilliant.
And I think that's goal zero.
Excellent. Well, thanks very much, Mark. That was really interesting. I'm pretty sure our listeners will. There's definitely a few little things added to my shopping list anyway. So yeah, thanks for that. Brilliant. Appreciate your time. Hi everybody, back again with Mark Ashton from Burton McCall. And this time we're going to talk all about Bivi Bags, the brand Survive Outdoors, or some people may have seen their logo on the kind of apple-sized pack that you get as SOL. And my goodness me, Bivi Bags, anytime there's a race coming up, the Facebook group goes crazy. Chat on Bivi Bags. Can you have just an emergency foil blanket? Bivi Bags, this Bivi Bags back. And I will vouch, my goodness me, when the weather is fine, the weather's fine, but sometimes it takes about 30 minutes and it is not fine. So never, ever scrimp on your Bivi bag. And over to you, Mark, if you have a chat about a couple of products from Survive Outdoors.
Bivi Bags are always an interesting concept. It's something you always want to buy, but never want to have to use.
Yeah.
So Bivi Bags, if things have moved on massively in recent years. So if we talk Bivi Bags 10 or 15 years ago, we'd think of those 500 gauge orange plastic survival bags that I remember doing my school DFE, that tucked away in the bottom of the bag. And when you look at it now, think how heavy. I mean, it's still completely practical because it's orange, it's waterproof, it's bright, but certainly not something you want to run with. And things have moved on from there. So you can go from one extreme to another. So from that 500 gauge bag, you go to the foil blankets that London Marathon, you get wrapped up like a baked foil chicken once you're finished. Yeah. That uses a material called mylar, which is reflective. It reflects about 80% of your body heat, but it's really fragile. And it's also single use. And essentially it's plastic. So we just need to bear that in mind environmental-wise.
And you do get people customizing their foil sheets to make them as small as possible.
Yeah.
Which you wouldn't do with your Bivi bag.
No. So if we go back to that 500 gauge plastic bag, which would be massive, and then show you something like that.
Yeah, that's what I've got, yeah.
It's tiny. So this is the emergency bivvy from Survive Outdoors Longer. SOL, as it's shortened to, they're a US-based company, do a whole plethora of survival products, from fire lighting, compasses, but their core line are Bivi Bags. And they do about 6 or 7 different models. The most popular one by a country mile is the emergency bivvy because of its pack size. It's ridiculously light, but it's made from polyethylene, which means it's really, really, really strong. And if we get out of the bags are oversized, so if you do want to use it for anything, you can actually repack it. It's not like one of the sheets that once it's out, good. Yeah. But if I grab all that and pull it, it doesn't stretch.
Brilliant.
It's tape seams. It'll reflect up to 90% of body heat. As you can see, it's bright orange, so if you do need to be found quickly, it's easily seeable.
And unlike a foil blanket, you kind of cocooned in there too. There's lots of opportunity for heat to escape with a foil blanket.
Yeah. Whereas with this, you can cinch it in. The draw cords now are made out of a material called Tinder Quick. So if you were in an extreme survival situation, this will help you make fire.
Oh, amazing! I did not know that.
And then the newer models have got a whistle built into the draw cord. So again, it covers all the emergency scenarios. Yeah. This is one that's been pulled out of my mountain rescue rucksack. It lives in the bottom, and again, it just sits there. Hopefully not one to be used.
Yeah, hopefully not being used. And mine, I must have had mine for, oh my goodness me, 7 years. And one question came up. I recently did the Bob Graham round, and we got the Bivi bag out, checked it was okay. Does it have a recommended lifespan? I thought, my goodness, I'm going to unroll this and it's going to be just powder. But
powder? No, not that I'm aware of. I mean, I like you, I've had that a number of years. Yeah. And it's probably been unpacked to show people a few times. You don't unroll it. I still want it to keep that tiny little pack size.
Yeah.
But yeah, it will just go on and on.
I was just concerned that, oh my goodness, I've got this Bivi bag, but is it just cosmetic use? Because it's not actually, it's past its sell-by date, but that's really good to know. Fantastic.
No. Excellent. And then as you go up the range, the pack size increases slightly. Yeah. So this is the Escape Light Bivi. Again, about the size of a can of Coke.
Yeah.
The difference here is its durability. So if you did want a wild camp, you could use one of these as your outer bivvy on top on your sleeping bag.
Yeah.
They do come in a green colour if you want to hide away.
Yeah.
If I turn the bag inside out, I don't know whether you'll be able to see on the screen or not.
Yeah.
But that's actually woven as opposed to a plastic. So
I see. Yeah.
Durability goes up again, but this is where you start to add breathability. Yeah. So the Escape Bivi is all about survivability.
Yeah.
The Escape models and upwards are all about comfort. So
sorry, to go back to that first one, I'll go back a step. Is there a temperature rating, like this is good for X seasons or?
No, what they do is on reflectivity. So this will reflect 90% of your body heat that you give back in. There are stories, if you go on the SOL website, of people surviving backcountry in the US for like 2 or 3 days, and that's in winter conditions with snow on the ground. And that sums it up. It's pack size, it's durability, reusability, as opposed to the Mylar sheets.
Yeah, I'm really interested in the wild Bivi side of it. So you'd basically put a sleeping bag inside the larger Bivi there. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, so the important thing there is the Escape Bivis are designed for comfort. It's a Coke can, but that level of breathability it's woven, as opposed to the emergency Bivis, which are designed as an emergency product. Yeah. But the difference being, this is 99 grams.
Yes, cool. And
designed to save your life, whereas this is closer to 200 grams, but designed to be comfort.
I saw somebody doing some wild Bivian up at Blencathra, and what time must have been about 2 a.m. And I wonder if he had that system going on there. There was no tent or anything. He was just off the summit. There's like a tiny little tarn. I wonder if he was double sleeping bag in one of those Bivis.
I'd hope so if it's that cold. I mean, your sleeping bag is going to provide you optimum warmth, but keeping it dry, because as soon as the sleeping bag starts to get wet.
And you're on the ground too,
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks a lot, Mark.
Perfect. Welcome.
I love all that kind of tech talk, and I'm pretty sure our listeners will do too. Once again, thanks very much. Appreciate the time this morning, and hopefully speak to you again soon. If there's any other products that you'd like to share with our listeners in the future, just reach out. Welcome anytime.
Yeah, we'll do. Thank you very much.